What's up, guys? We're back today with Bad End Theater. And last time we went through, we got all of the hero endings, except for whatever this very last one is that looks like it has to do with the Overlord. We went through and we got all of the maiden endings, again, except for the one that revolves around the Overlord. So now we need to jump in and get all of the ones for the Underling and the Overlord. So we're going to start off with the Underling and see where all of this goes. So everything starts like we normally do. We're bored. We go ask the Overlord if we can take a break. And she gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she is kind of a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. So we're just gonna... I think we need to go with let's overthrow her, otherwise your friends kill you? I can't remember. So we're just gonna do that. No, you're sick of this Overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for a change of management. Your friends suggest maybe you should be the new Overlord. You like the sounds of that. You announce your first act of rebellion is to take that day off like you wanted. Your friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out of the castle to have some fun. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along... As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to come save her. You consider your options. We're just gonna tell her to quit yelling. When the maiden realizes you're not going to hurt her, she regains her composure. Now she started talking to you like you're friends or something. You don't understand humans at all. You speak the same language, of course, which has always confused you, because why is there conveniently only one language in this world? That is weird. If demons and humans have independent societies, wouldn't it make sense for them to each have their own language? You're starting to ask some questions that I wasn't ready for, Underling. The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. Bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting, besides you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks you where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look. And you say, "That was just a joke, of course." Love that face. He smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. After a few hours of sleep, you're rudely awakened by the sounds of battle. You emerge from your room to find that a hero has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk! I think we did avenge your comrades, which I think ends up with you dying? We might come back to it. We'll save ourselves. You look around at the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you remember. You feel glad to not be in their shoes. You also feel guilty to be thinking that as you flee the castle until you remember your role, not as an underling, but as a demon. This kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life, far away from any human or demons, where you'll live peacefully, alone, in some deep dark forest somewhere. Alright, so this time we're gonna run through, and when we ask for our day off, the Overlord is not going to be a tyrant, and she's going to give us the day off. She's surprisingly cool with it. Nice. You set out on your adventure outside the castle, which then we're going to run into a maiden, and we're going to bring her back with us. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. They seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long, your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning on a whole revolution. They're going to get rid of the current Overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or not. And being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. So, if I remember right, if we say no, we die. Hence why there's a skull there. Okay, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them you were just joking and clarify that you're totally in it to win it. They say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it would be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of fox confidence, sod confidence, I don't know, big words. It's a little word. I just don't know how to pronounce it all that well. Dyslexic. You worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any ideas how they would want to go about this. Oh, is this where the hero and the maiden run into us? I don't think I've seen the underling side of this yet. They figured they'd just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, unless without someone's guidance, your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you've fought her head on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want to come down to this. But you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You sneak up to the Overlord's room, but there's a couple of humans in there. You watch the scene unfold. You aren't sure why, but the Overlord suddenly cuts down the hero. She approaches the maiden you brought to her earlier. With the Overlord distracted, you figure this is as good a chance as any. You launch a sneak attack, getting her right in the back. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. That was messier than you would have liked. The maiden mutters something from the corner. Thank you for saving me. It wasn't your intention, but it sounds like you did something heroic. You tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle. your castle. You are the new overlord. So for this last ending I need to find for, I guess the second to last ending I need to find for the underling, we need to sneak out on our day off again without the with the overlord not giving us a day off. We have to agree to dethrone the overlord with our friends, and we need to eat the maiden for all of this to work. So after eating the maiden, we then go to the town and we can put on a show which then leads to the hero showing up and killing us, or we can change our mind and go home. So you figure if people are this upset at just the sight of you, they wouldn't fully appreciate any terrible acts you commit. Also, they might fight back. That probably wouldn't end well. You're just one little underling after all. This little day out has been adequately refreshing. You return to the castle thinking you'll take a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. They're very eager to talk to you about the whole kill the overlord plan. You admit you hadn't given it much thought and only just now remembered it was a thing. Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. So we're going to actually go along with it, because if we say no, we're gonna die again. So your friends very much elect you to be the assassin, and you still don't know how you feel about this. You sneak into the overlord's room. She's taking a nap, like usual. This is almost too easy. You silently approach your master. She looks so peaceful. Time to die. Oh, or we can chicken out. I don't think I have coward as an option yet. So we'll do time to die and I'll come back and we'll get chickened out. You figure the cleanest way to do this would to dig your claws into her throat. So you do just that. She wakes, but not in time to stop you. You watch as she chokes on her blood, cursing you before finally expiring. That felt terrible. You remind yourself it was either her or you, and you weren't about to let yourself get killed by anyone. You leave the room to find your friends waiting just outside. They look pleased. Only now do you realize they must have planned to use you like this from the beginning. You are the new ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you as you've betrayed your overlord. So instead of killing the overlord, we're gonna chicken out and see what that does. You don't want to kill her. You can't go through with it. You turn to leave the room, but you find your friends blocking the exit. In a panicked whisper, you ask them to let you out. This seems to have been their way of testing your loyalty. You tell them this is pretty up and ask again to be let out. The overlord stirs in her bed while your head is turned. The demon shut the door. You scramble into the overlord's closet to hide before she wakes up and sees you. There's nothing you could possibly say to explain this and survive. You're trembling. You can't believe those assholes would bully you like this. You feel like crying. Light flickers at your feet. It doesn't take you long to realize they set the room on fire. You hear the overlord trying to get the door open. To no avail. You're both trapped. Too afraid to move, you resign yourself to your fate. You and the overlord burn together. Wow. So with that, we now have all of the underlings' traits and endings unlocked, except for the final one that revolves around the overlord. And I think I only have 3 endings unlocked for the overlord. So So we now need to go back and find some endings for the Overlord real quick. And it's been a while since I played the Overlord, so I don't remember her whole backstory. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for these pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyways? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing. If you're being quite honest with yourself, you don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself, everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the highest standard like that, a higher standard like that. One of your underlings walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyways. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What do you do with the underling? We are going to grant them the day off. You tell them to go take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere and refresh their dark soul. Day off should be fine every once in a while. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the Overlord sure is great. You wake to a huge commotion outside. A hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You are unable to defeat him. With decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You wished you'd been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the Overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you are swallowed by darkness. Alright, I'm going to try doing one more playthrough. In this one, we let the underling take a day off. The underling was not hungry, so he brought us the maiden back. We are going to tell her to go home instead of hanging out, which then should lead to us taking a nap and the hero showing up again. But you don't get to rest for very long. The hero shows up and he's attacking all of your demons again. Vile demon, I shouldn't have believed for a second that you were anything but pure evil. I'll exterminate you all. You don't really get what he's going on about, but you engage regardless. A girl's gotta defend her people. You clash again and again, but the hero isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health, waiting for the other to make a move when one of your underlings appears behind him. They knock the hero unconscious. You kind of appreciate it, but can't they see this was a duel? They don't respond. You sense murderous intent. Your servant tackles you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate. They've done too much damage. You you can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You have been slain by your own underling. All right, with that we have, what, 5 more endings technically for the Overlord and 1 for everyone else. So I think next time we're going to come back and we're going to finish up the Overlord's endings and then figure out what everyone else's final ending is. And then I'm going to assume that must lead to a secret ending or something else. But if you like this video, make sure you leave a like on it. If you're not a subscriber and you like watching my stuff, make sure you ring the bell icon down below and hit the subscribe button so you know when I upload more stuff. But until next time, guys, bye. I love yous.